You know, when you're in a place like the Missouri State Penitentiary, infamous for being violent, there's violence there every day. You wonder why somebody like Robert Berdella could walk around. How he could just walk around. And I asked one of the old heads that. I mean, I was mad at him. You know, because you think they would administer prison justice. But they told me, just be cool, young blood. It's all going to work out. Just be cool. Just chill. So let's get a little setup on Robert Berdella. Everybody knows what he did. Everybody knows he's called the Kansas City Butcher. I mean, you can go online, find anything you want about him. Many videos about him. But he died of a heart attack in 1992 at Missouri State Penitentiary. So here's what happened. And I was telling you, said all this to the old heads and was wondering why it didn't happen. Well, I ended up getting my ass whooped on the yard over a different incident. I've talked about it. It had nothing to do with Robert Berdella. But I go to the hole, which is in 5 House. This is sometime after, I've been there for a little bit. And the hole is noisy and everything. And pretty soon they bring in Robert Berdella, take him past my cell and put him in another cell. I was wondering why I was being held in the hole for so long. I thought it was only supposed to be 10 days, but they's keeping me there. And I was trying to get out. I was writing casework and everything. But anyway, they take him by, put him a few cells down. And I thought, man, I was just mad seeing him walk by. And I think I was on 5 walk, tier 5, something like that. I was about halfway up the row of tiers. Anyway, sometime later it got quiet. COs come, they walk by me, walk down to his cell, and they're just standing there. I got a little mirror. I'm stuck out through the bars, and I'm looking down the walk, and they're just standing there. One of them's looking at his watch. One of them's kind of staring in the cell, shuffling his feet, and they're just looking. I'm thinking, what are they doing? And so they just stand there. It seemed like forever, but I don't know, it must have been 10 or 15 minutes. They just stand there. Every once in a while, one of them would walk inside, and then he'd come back out, and they just stand there and look. Finally, one of them gets on the radio and calls, and I don't know why he's calling, but I guess it's medical, because here comes medical. By then, it was too late. Berdella was gone. And I eventually get out of the hole. And I'm telling these guys, these old heads, and I said, man, they wouldn't let me out, and everything. But I told them about the Berdella incident. And they said, didn't we tell you just to hold on, just to chill out? See, young blood, prison justice isn't always dished out with violence. You got to think, young blood. And so I'm thinking, I was already thinking that the COs had let him go, just let him have that heart attack and go. I was already thinking that. But this made me think that everybody was involved. Everybody seemed to know about it but me. And that just goes to show people that, especially in like the Missouri State Penitentiary and places like that, in high max prisons, the COs and the convicts, they kind of stay away from one another. They don't talk to one another much. But it seemed like this time, they was all on the same page. And I'm trying to think of another time when I've seen that, and I can't really think of one. I'm sure there might be another one. But anyway, I get out, and I looked up online, and it said that they said he died of a heart attack, of course. But they said he was complaining that they was refusing him his heart medication. So that just kind of confirms everything, you know. Now, some people say that it was medical neglect. Some people say that it was just him complaining, which some people do. There's people in prison that just complain, make up lies and stuff that COs ain't doing their job and stuff, and not getting their medication and stuff. There's people that do make that up. But I'm telling you, I was a few cells down, and I saw those COs stand there for a long time. And so people may, people always asking me, when they do ask me about him, did you see him there? Yeah, I saw him there. Was what happened to him and all of this, that we heard he died of a heart attack while he wasn't prison justice administered? Well, it was. It just wasn't administered by the convicts. Now, do I think it's right? I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. But I would like to know what you guys think in the comments. Was that... Because, I was telling some people out here about that. And one guy says, well, how would you like to if it was you having a heart attack? Well, I want to tell you something. In most cases, when somebody's having a medical problem, all the people, like convicts and stuff, they'll be yelling, man down. It's the weirdest thing. I can be bleeding from being stabbed and nobody will say nothing. But if I'm having a medical issue, everybody be yelling, man down, CO, CO, CO. And that's what would happen in most cases, whether it's me or somebody else. But you got to understand, Robert Berdella was hated by everybody in the prison. Everybody. And I don't blame them. That hate is one reason why I couldn't understand why nothing had happened to him. Until it finally did. So anyway, I'd like to know you guys' thoughts on this. Comment below what you think. And I thank you for watching. And stay safe out there and stay free.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kansas City.